Hello everyone, this is Darryl20, and welcome to part 6 of Darryl20's Just Dire Things mod spotlight. Today, you know what we're going to be taking a look at. It's going to be all the armors that we added. So, added a whole bunch of armors, all, normal stuff for the different tiers. So tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, or Ferricore, Blazegold, Celestigem, and Eclipse Alloy armors. And each of them come with a bunch of cool abilities. We're going to go over them all in just a little bit. So let's get started taking a look at all the different armors. And while we're talking about the armors, we'll also introduce you to the armor upgrade system, because all special abilities on both your tools and your armors now require crafting upgrades and inserting them into your either tools or armors using a smithing table. Pretty cool. So for example, if you want to upgrade the pickaxes, you have to insert the ore miner upgrade into it using the smithing table. We'll take a look at this in just a moment. Alright, so in terms of crafting the armor, it's exactly as you'd expect. The standard armor crafting recipes are going to be available here for you to play with. Pretty cool. And equipping the armor works exactly also like you'd expect. Your tier 1 set of armor is going to be pretty straightforward, basically similar to iron, until you start installing the upgrades. So your best bet here is to start installing upgrades. So let's take a look at the leggings first. So 2 upgrades available on the tier 1 leggings are run speed and walk speed. So we'll get each of those. Now, crafting upgrades is pretty easy. Generally speaking, you need a blank upgrade, which is just a little bit of Ferricore, and then you can upgrade that into different tiers of upgrades. And some of them are more expensive than others because some of them are really, really powerful, and some of them are pretty straightforward, right? So run speed's not too crazy. A little sugar, a little potato, easy peasy. Walk speed is the same. A little sugar. This one requires carrots. So I'm just going to install that on there. And you'll notice that when I do that, the previous tier of Ferricore leggings do not have run speed. The next tier run speed is active and green. You'll notice that if I install walk speed, it's the same thing. And you can install all the upgrades, right? So there's no limit to the amount of upgrades you can have. Like if the item supports the upgrade, you can go ahead and install it. Now that this is installed, you'll notice that I'm running just a little bit faster. Pretty cool. And if you open up your tool settings menu by shift right clicking any one of these, which by the way, it reminds me I need to add a hotkey for this, you can click on or right click on the armor set that you want to modify, and you can edit the settings for that. So run speed and walk speed. The tier 1 of this doesn't have much of a speed upgrade going on, but you'll be able to have a slider at Blazegold and above. So some of the abilities that you get will get more powerful as you upgrade the armor, and you will not have to install another upgrade. So like once you've installed the run speed upgrade, you're good to go. There's not a run speed tier 2 or nothing like that. So you can also toggle them on and off, either by turning them on and off like this. So you'll notice now run speed is off. And if you look, you'll see run speed and walk speed are in red, indicating that they are in fact disabled. Or you can set those to hotkeys. So right click on the button and you can set a custom binding. So unlike the void wand and all the other things you've seen before, you can't choose a left click or a right click because it doesn't really make sense there, but you can totally set a binding. So if I wanted to have a custom binding for G, and then the same for walk speed, custom binding for G. Now both run speed is G and walk speed is G. And you'll notice that when I'm running, if I press G, it's going to disable and I'm moving slower. And if I press G again, it's going to activate and I'm moving faster. Now it's tier 1 leggings, so don't expect a whole lot of run speed improvement, okay? But there's definitely a small one. And if I'm not running and I turn it off and I turn it on, there's a subtle speed increase there, okay? It's subtle, but it's there. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, so that's your tier 1 run speed and walk speed abilities. For boots, you get uphill step assist and jump boost. So that one's pretty cool. Uphill step assist and jump boost. And I won't show this for everything, but the same rules apply here. You can toggle it on and off with a binding, and you can also toggle it on and off by just doing it in the UI here. So uphill step assist, as you might expect, lets you step up a block height, and jump lets you jump a little bit higher. In general, your jump level will always be +1 what's normal. So without the jump ability, right, you can't get 2 blocks up, right? You can get 1 block up. Okay, but with the ability active, you'll be able to, at this tier, jump up 2 blocks. Okay? So again, nothing amazing, nothing crazy, but pretty straightforward. And while I'm here, let me not forget that you can also set binding and press the escape key to unbind the stuff. So bound to G, hit the button, hit escape. Now it's not bound. Okay, let's take a look at Ferricore Helmet. This one has a Mind Fog ability. This one I thought was kind of cool. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this one. So Mind Fog is nothing of particularly noticeable, but it is nifty. So if I were to turn off, or it's actually not, so that's good. Let's get a, let's do this. I'm going to get a husk. Let's maybe actually just do this. I'm going to make it nighttime. That might be a little bit easier to demonstrate this ability. So what Mind Fog does is it makes it so that mobs need to be closer to you before they can detect you. And I want to say the default detection range is usually around 15 blocks. Mind Fog shrinks it a little bit, like to like 8-ish blocks. So let's demonstrate this, right? I'm going to turn off Mind Fog, and I'm going to set time set midnight. And we'll wait for a few mobs to spawn. Now with Mind Fog turned off, okay, what should happen is we'll get, you know, as soon as some mobs spawn. Okay, it is now midnight, and my Ferricore Helmet's Mind Fog ability is, in fact, disabled. Dun, dun, dun. Now, if we get semi-close to these skeletons, you'll notice that right about here is when he starts attacking me. Oh, no. Dangerous. So let's get rid of all them. Go back to normal mode, and activate my Mind Fog ability. Now, as I get closer to the skeletons, we'll pick this one. Notice how they're, like, not aggroed yet? Now, that zombie started to pick up on me a little bit sooner. That one is too, and the skeleton didn't. So I think zombies have a bigger range upon which they can pick up on you. Skeletons not as much. So basically what Mind Fog does is it reduces the range at which they would normally aggro on you. So like if normally they can see you from 20 blocks away, Mind Fog will shrink it down to something like 10 blocks, right? So just a shorter range. It's a subtle ability, but it is kind of cool. So now let's talk about the fourth and final set of gear from Tier 1, and that is the Ferricore Chestplate, which has a Invulnerability upgrade. This upgrade is the first of the active abilities. Thus far, all the abilities I've shown you have been passive, which means they just kind of work behind the scenes, and you don't have to do anything, right? You equip the armor, you have that special ability. Invulnerability is different. You have to assign a hotkey to it to activate it. So I'm going to assign the hotkey of G so that I can activate this ability whenever I want. What Invulnerability does is makes you completely immune to all damage for a very short period of time, after which there's a long cooldown before you can use the ability again. It also uses a bunch of durability. So let's summon a husk. Okay, so the husk is here and he's going to attack me. Oh my goodness, that's hurting. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Quick, activate the Invulnerability ability. You'll notice I'm not taking any more damage. Not even from a cactus. Cool. Now, once that cooldown is over, I will be taking damage again. So notice there's a little red icon there. Red indicates it's on cooldown. I can once again take damage. You'll also notice a pretty good amount of durability was taken out of that piece of armor there. I think it's around 20 or 30 is what it costs, something like that. Maybe 25, I forget. But a big burst of durability usage when you activate that ability. So use it sparingly and only when you need. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and craft the next tier of armor, as you might expect with the regular recipes. However, you're going to have to craft all the upgrades again, which is not good. So, for example, if you wanted to make these blaze boot leggings and all that stuff, you notice that run speed's not there. However, luckily, I made it so you can upgrade these. So you can upgrade your armor to the next tier using the upgrade system the same. So there is now a template for each tier, so a Blazegold template and a Blazegold ingot will get you Blazegold leggings. And each template costs about 5 Blazegold. So it's a little bit more expensive technically for most armors to do that, but it also lets you transfer not only your abilities, but it'll also let you transfer enchants as well. So now you'll notice that Mind Fog carries across, Invulnerability carries across, run speed and walk speed came across, and all the others. Cool. So now we've got a new set of armor. Pretty cool. And if you look at this, you'll notice that my run speed actually has a higher movement speed now, as does walk speed, as does jump boost. So now jump boost can actually go up 1, 2, 3 blocks. Woo, pretty cool. And my run speed's a little bit faster too. Cool. So those upgrades got, or those abilities got upgrades, you know, courtesy of that. Now, the first ability I'll show you is on the helmet here, and that is Stupefy. I like this one, just because it's a cool name. It's called Stupefy. How cool is that? That is another active use ability, so you're going to have to assign it to a hotkey. So for now, I'm going to set Stupefy to be bound to the R hotkey, just for fun. You'll also notice all Blazegold has Lava Repair by default. That is not an ability you have to add. It's built into the Blazegold armor set. All right, so now if I summon a Husk, Stupefy will make mobs forget about you for a period of time. So this guy's attacking me, and I'm going to Stupefy him. Boom! He completely forgot about me. He won't even attack me if I hit him. But notice on the bottom, the cooldown's pretty short. So it doesn't last very long, just a few seconds. And then there's a long cooldown. And again, it used a bunch of durability. So activating Stupefy uses durability. It's a single target only, so whatever mob you're looking at will forget about you for a few seconds. There's also a list of mobs that it doesn't work on, usually boss mobs. And final note, mod pack makers, there is a tag you can apply to mobs to prevent it from working. So like modded mobs, if you want to add them to the list of mobs that Stupefy doesn't work on, mod pack makers, you can do that. Cool. So that is Stupefy. Extinguish is the upgrade for the Blazegold chestplate. So if we got Extinguish going on here, you'll notice this guy. You can probably guess what Extinguish does. If you guessed it puts out if you're on fire, you guessed pretty accurately. So if I were on fire, you'll notice that there's a cooldown on it though. So like it worked, but then I caught fire again. So it doesn't work great for if you're in lava, but you'll notice that cooldown ability down there. See all the blue flames? And you hear the sound effect? So that is a passive ability. You do not need to activate it. If the player is on fire, they'll just, be put out. Okay? Easy peasy. You can, of course, disable that. And again, that also uses a little bit of durability. So, be aware, right? There's no settings for it. If you do set the binding, it just toggles the ability on and off. So, if you want, you could toggle it on and off with a hotkey, or if you just leave it on all the time, it'll just extinguish you, if you take, if you get lit on fire. Cool. Blazegold leggings will give you a swim speed boost. Works probably exactly as you could guess, so we won't go into a whole lot of detail here. But, if we jump into the water, you'll notice that you can swim a good bit faster. Because me personally, I hate how slow you swim. It's just, I hate it. So I needed a swim speed boost. It just needed to happen. Cool. And then finally, the tier 2 upgrade for this guy is Ground Stomp for your boots. So Ground Stomp is another active use ability. So again, I'll just assign a hotkey to it. We'll make it B. And what this does is it push any nearby mobs away from you. So if we summon a bunch of Husks and we Ground Stomp on them, boom, they get all pushed away. How cool is that? And then we can Stupefy one of them. Oh, boy, did that hurt. So I guess that's a good segue into some important information. Blazegold armor is about the same armor protection as iron because it's made with gold, but it's way more expensive. So like, rather than making it more powerful than Ferricore, I kind of took the attribution of like, well, gold is weaker, but I don't want it to be too weak, so I made it kind of like the same as armor. So you'll notice Ferricore armor is about the same as iron tier. But those are all the tier 2 abilities for Blazegold. All right, so now let's go ahead and upgrade this armor using Celestigem templates and Celestigems. Cool. So easy peasy. Bing, bang, boom. And just like with the Celestigem tier of items, these guys use Forge energy. So assuming that they are powered up, you will get armor. Quick note, if you equip unpowered Celestigem, so if we did this, you'll notice that we are not getting any armor. So no armor if it's not powered. Pay attention, make sure it's powered. We charge it up, boom, then we're cool, right? All right, I'm gonna avoid all these because I want the armor set that has all my upgrades. Okay, so night vision. Haha, you know it. Dire loves his night vision because recording equals hard. So we're gonna go ahead and check out the Just Dire Things night vision upgrade. Okay, bing, bang, boom. So now, time set midnight. Beautiful, right? It's just a passive ability. You can turn it on and off as you see fit. And it doesn't do any of that annoying blinky stuff either. So, night vision, what else can you say about it? You can hotkey it if you want one to turn it on and off, but why would you? Okay, for the chest plate, we get the Elytra ability. So you can upgrade your tier 3 chest plate with an Elytra, okay? And that will allow you to, as you could probably guess, glide like you're wearing an Elytra. Woo! Pretty special tip, by the way. I made it so that your run speed and walk speed buffs can affect Elytra flight if you're using this one. They do not affect vanilla Elytra flight. And as an obvious note, you need a vanilla Elytra to get this upgrade. Cool. Okay. I like this ability. This ability's cool. I'm very proud of this ability. Here we go. We're going to look at Decoy. The Decoy ability, another active ability one, so I'm going to set this hotkey binding to N. And again, you can totally, by the way, combine hotkey, like you can have multiple abilities activated on the same hotkey and they'll all activate, like you saw with run speed and walk speed. But Decoy is a neat one. We're going to summon a few more husks here, and I'm going to activate the Decoy ability. Ready? Set. Go! There's the Direwolf 20 Decoy. The Decoy will cause all nearby mobs to head towards and attack it. You'll notice on the bottom there's another cooldown, and when it runs out, the Decoy despawns. So, yeah, the Decoy ability is a pretty cool one in my opinion. I like it. Very proud of that one. Causes all mobs to aggro on it. Okay? So that is Decoy. And then the final one here, negate fall damage from Celestigem boots. Nothing. I think you guys can all pretty much assume what that does. Yeah, it makes it so that you no longer have to have the thing in your hand. Now, what I will note, notice it used a bunch of energy. So when you do this, I'm just gonna do that. Notice that your energy here. The further you fall, the more energy it negates, the more energy it uses. And just like with the other Celestigem tools, there's not a lot of energy buffer on tier 3. There's a much bigger energy buffer on tier 4. All right, and now for the final set. Some of these abilities are pretty overpowered, I ain't gonna lie. In fact, they were so overpowered, it's kind of the reason I decided to add the ability crafting system. Because I was like, man, I went a little overboard on this one. I really did. All right, let's take a look. So for your helmet, we've got the Debuff Remover and Mental Obliteration. Let's take a look. So Debuff Remover for your helmet. Okay, and Debuff Remover is going to require some golden apples and some honey and milk buckets. You can probably guess what it does based on the name. Mental Obliteration, on the other hand, is a little bit more expensive. It's going to require some shulker shells and a calibrated skulk sensor. So off to the ancient cities with you. This thing's pretty nifty. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of this one. So Debuff Remover, I'm gonna go ahead and just set the hotkey here to B, and then Mental Obliteration, we'll make it N. Okay, so Debuff Remover, see if this works actually, if I'm lucky. So now I've got Hunger. If I hit B, it'll consume some energy and remove any debuffs. So unlike Milk, which removes all status effects, the Debuff Remover will only remove negative status effects. So pretty nice way to hotkey removing status effects for you. Cool? Okay. So that's that guy. Mental Obliteration. Oh man, this one's like really a little too OP. Again, by the way, pack makers, there is an entity tag to block the ability on this. Mental Obliteration uses 100,000 RF per. And you'll note that this thing only has 500,000 RF. So let me turn off this guy for a sec, and I'm going to activate the ability. Boom. You'll notice it used 400,000 RF, which means you can only affect 5 mobs at once. This thing has a pretty long cooldown too. We just completely destroyed the brains of these mobs. They can't do anything anymore. They are done forever. They have no more AI capabilities. I can sit there and hit them all day long, and they will just never recover. They're basically dead. Okay, that is Mental Obliteration. I should note at this point, since we're talking about overpowered abilities, if anybody thinks that any of these abilities are too powerful, there are config settings in the config for the mod. You can just set the ability. Every single ability has a config option that you can disable. So if you say like, oh, Mental Obliteration, too powerful, Dire, I don't like that. Go in the config and turn it off. Have fun. Cool. Or just, for pack makers, you could also just make this recipe that much harder, right? Make it require something like insanely endgamey. Whatever you want. Okay. Eclipse Alloy Chestplate has 3 cool abilities to it. So we get Death Protection, which, by the way, requires 2 Totems of Undying. Okay. We also have Flight, and we also have Lava Immunity. Lava Immunity does exactly like it says on the tin. It's going to completely... let's see. Let's get a bucket of lava. It's gonna make you immune to lava. Right now, we have to think. We have to over-explain that one, right? Lava immunity, immune to lava. Now you're also immune to fire. And Extinguish, by the way, has a shorter cooldown on the higher tiers of armor. Okay, so you'll still be on fire. You just won't take damage from it. And I should note that it also uses like a healthy amount of energy to I think it's like 1,000 RF per tick to negate that damage from fire and lava. So like you're gonna want a healthy battery to keep that thing up and running. Flight is just creative mode flight. Double tap space and you're flying. Woo. And yes, you can combine this with Elytra. Just hit space and woo, now we're flying. Okay, woo. Okay, so double tap space and you're out and about. Cool. That one also has 100 RF per tick energy cost. So, you know, creative mode flight costs a little bit of juice. Okay. And again, all those upgrade recipes are, you know, good to go. I'm going to real quick summon a couple husks now to demonstrate the death protection, which, by the way, costs 450,000 forge energy. So it uses like most of your energy. So make sure your chest plate's fully, you know, charged up before you take damage that would otherwise kill you. It's not as powerful as the Totem of Undying. So you'll notice I didn't get a bunch of buffs. It only brought me up to half health, but it did prevent me from dying. So combine that with like your invulnerability and some of the other upgrades, and you should be pretty resilient. All right. In terms of boots, we get the phase ability. This one I'm also quite proud of. I need people to test this one because like it was a little bit hacky to get this to work. And I really hope there's no like earth-breaking bugs with this. And again, those of you who there's well, let me show you what it does. Phase lets you walk through walls. That's it. Like literally, you can just phase through blocks. You won't fall through the floor. You know, so you'll stay through the floor, but you can walk through walls. Okay, that's pretty much what phase does. Okay, so you know, there's bedrock you can't move through. There's a block tag for pack makers to limit what blocks can be walked through. So like if you have a mod pack where like certain blocks make up like a dungeon and you don't want players to be able to walk through them, you can add that block tag and then you can't phase through it. And then again, it's a pretty expensive, you know, recipe to make the phase upgrade. And if you think it doesn't fit in your mod pack because you're making more of like an adventure style pack, just disable the phase ability in the config and, you know, you're good to go. You'll also notice that you move pretty quickly because your run speed goes up to 5 and your walk speed goes up to 5, and the same for swim speed for that matter. So you move pretty quick and you jump pretty high too with your netherite boots. Cool? Cool. All right. So now let's talk about Earthquake, the final upgrade. So if we grab these boots and we got the Earthquake upgrade. Okay. Earthquake will slow mobs in an area around you. So again, I'm going to set the binding to N. I forget if something's already set to N. What did I set to N already? Was it mental obliteration? Yeah, it was. Let's unbind that. So we'll summon a couple husks. And Earthquake will... See, it kind of slowed them. I forgot Decoy was down as well. But they get a big slowing debuff. Remember I said you can activate multiple abilities at once? So they're debuffed with slowing for like a good few seconds. Cool. So that's pretty much it. So you're all the different abilities for armor. What I should note is that all abilities on your tools are the same way. So remember, like you could right click your sword to do mob scanner. No more. Not until you activate those abilities by crafting them and then attaching them. So for example, we can go look at mob scanner here, and now we can scan for mobs. Okay. And then the same deal for all the other, you know, Instant Break, X-Ray, the Drops Teleporter, all those abilities that were on your tools also have to be inserted in the smithing upgrade process. I will note that you can Anvil upgrade to the next tier and retain all your abilities, right? So if we look at the uses of this guy, you know, if we did this and that, you'll notice that he retains his mob scanner ability, right? And he can still scan for mobs. Cool. So I think that about covers it. So for now, Double20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed part 6 of the mod spotlight. Phase, by the way, you can totally just turn it off if it, you know, you don't have to craft it, or you can just disable it, and then it goes back to normal mode. I thought that was kind of a cool ability. I'm really proud of Phase. All right, like I said, wrapping up point. Double20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed part 6 of Just Dire Things mod spotlight. Do I have more things planned? Yes. Will there be a part 7? Probably. We'll see you then. All right, for now, take it easy.